I was
Yep.
listening to Justin say they might see more now how devs deal with the after release, like devs looking ahead and knowing all that work required. Yes, and I can actually add my own anecdote into that. It is extremely important that you have a post-launch strategy planned. We were looking at comparables this week for a game that one of our publishers is interested in picking up, and we noticed that one of the comparables had like over 10,000 reviews on Steam, and it was like all very positive. And then above it, it was like the recent reviews were mixed, and there was, I don't know, 80 to 100, maybe a little more. And I'm like, that's weird. You don't necessarily see that in that order. You might see total reviews be mixed, and then the more recent ones be very good because they've done something. When we started going through the different posts and the reviews, it was getting review bombed because the developers were not still putting content out for a $15 game over a year later after launch. That's a little excessive, in terms of the reviews coming in that heavy handed on that. But what it says and what it shows is that consumers are looking at these things as long term projects. And you read through those reviews, and the people are like, well, this game's dead. It's not dead. There's a shitload of content that was made. You just got through it all, and now you're mad there's not any more. That doesn't necessarily make the game dead. But not only, consumers are looking for this, they want to know that there's a long tail of content plan for the game. And because of that, publishers are looking at it. And so they want to make sure that you have a long tail of content at least planned and understanding. And so when you're going in and doing your budget, yes, you should say, hey, here's the budget that we need to get to launch. And then these are our estimations on what the cost of ongoing content might be. And either that, it doesn't necessarily need to be full-blown live ops where you're, running a game as a service. It could be content drops, every couple of months or something like that. But you absolutely do need to be planning ahead and showing that you have at least thought through what's happening after launch.
What those reviews show, the review bombing show, bless you, is that people really liked the game and they were ticked off when they.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it really does. But it's also very shitty of the consumers to be doing that, because it's like,
yeah, untapped potential, as Oscar Clark says. It's a missed opportunity, is what that is.
We don't have to get into some of my anger at gamers in general sometimes,
right.
But yeah, that's one of them. What else have we got? Have we got anything else?
That's it. Those are, we hit all the questions.
Awesome. All right. So, bottom line takeaway on all of this: at the end of the day, do your research. Make sure that when you're talking to a publisher, you are looking into who they've worked with, contacting those people. Do not ask a publisher for references. That's like, an employer asking you for references. Do you give them the reference of the boss that, you told to F off and stormed out of his office and slammed the door the last time? No, you give them references that are your friends and sometimes your family. Always make sure you're doing your own research. Look into the companies that this, publisher has worked with. Look into the individuals at that company that different studios have worked with, and find out who you're going to be working with. Because it's very, very rare that you can do a proper amount of research and still end up getting screwed. It's not impossible. It happens, but you're not going to help yourself. And I do realize that sometimes it's tough when you've worked on a project for 2 or 3 years and you're not getting any interest in it from the publishing community in general. And then one publisher is all that interested. And you may look into it and they go, well, they've done some iffy things here and there, but they're my only option. Sometimes your better option is nothing. Do your research, look into it, make sure you know who you're getting into bed with and why. And that's all I'm going to rant about today. We're good.